My entire life, I have been a small guy. I've always been light. I've always been skinny. I have a fast metabolism. I've never been able to really put on muscle or put on weight. And I've always hated the gym. I've never been a guy that would go to the gym. I was never someone that was pushing weights. When it came to this challenge, I wanted to raise the bar a little bit when it came to me personally. I wanted to set a goal that I knew would push me to a limit that I'd never been to before when it came to my own physical health. So the goal for this challenge, put on 20 pounds of lean muscle in 90 days. I had someone sit me down at dinner, who I respect a lot, and told me that it was physically impossible, right? And all this stuff you start to hear, you start to believe, and I think it was so important to have people around me that were supporting me. Everybody out there on Facebook, everybody out there saying you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. It means more, than you really think, and you got to rally that support of people that say you can do it. So I did a little research and I came up with the strategy. I believe in the fitness world it's called Occam's protocol, which basically comes down to an exercise routine where I only worked out 2 times a week. No more than 45 minutes each time. The whole concept was full body workouts, 1 set per muscle, and you wanted to go about 7 to 10 reps to failure. So you're doing heavy weights, and the whole catch around it was a slow cadence. It was a 5-second down, 5-second up. So I'd sit there, if I were doing curls, I'd have to go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then engage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Every muscle group. Chest, legs were the worst. To put on a lot of muscle, legs. Probably most of my weight was in my legs. And that was it, and we did it, and it was painful. But it wasn't so much the working out. I could handle an hour and a half of pain a week. Anybody can handle an hour and a half of pain. It was the diet. It was the eating that was the hard part. 200 to 300 grams of protein a day, which means, I was basically eating 3 main high protein meals during the day. I was doing 2 Visalus shakes in addition to those meals in the morning or after workout and right before I went to bed, and then snacking in between. A lot of Nutri-Cookies, love the peanut butter, and then obviously my BiPAC AM, BiPAC PM, and the energy drinks, when I needed. So that was kind of my regimen. I was on the full Visalus product regimen. Shakes every day, BiPAC AM, BiPAC PM, energy when I need it, and cookies for snacks, and just trying to eat. This is the interesting part. This was the hardest thing I think I have ever done. Not the exercise, the eating. I've never in my life made eating a priority. Eating's never been a priority. Eating was something that I just had to do when I got too hungry that I had to eat something. I had to really shift my mindset on that. I finally realized that it wasn't about time, right? It wasn't about everybody's busy. There was never a right time. It's about prioritizing your life. When are you going to make health a priority in your own life, right? It needs to be at the top of the list, and having the self-discipline to follow through on it. And it's crazy. I look back on the last 90 days, I was on the road 45, literally, I counted 45 out of the 90 days on this challenge. I was traveling. I visited over 20 different cities. I went to over 4 different countries. There was never an opportune time to do this, but by having the priority, committing to it, it's amazing what can be possible. It's just a matter of shifting that focus a little bit and having the self-discipline to follow through on it. So workout 1 ends in total blackout. Devastating. I went into this with a goal. To be honest, I didn't really think through how difficult it was going to be. I said, hey, let's just go for this and we'll see what we can do to make it happen. And then boom, right there on the lobby floor of the gym. Embarrassing, but more than embarrassing, just devastating. I'm like, this is gonna be tougher than I thought. Can't go 10 more rounds. Super busy.
This guy's trying really hard, but a little bit at a time, we'll build him up. Would you say today's workout was one of your hardest ever?
Yeah. And all these little parts in between, a lot of times doubt, crept in. We were there 45 days in, stepped on the scale, went back a half a pound, from 2 weeks prior, went back a half a pound. In a 90-day time frame, 2 weeks means a lot.
143?
143.
So I went back a half a pound?
Down half a pound.
Down half a pound. A week and a half more and down half a pound. That is not good. That is not good.
But then I went back there and went back to, you know what, nothing's impossible. All the support coming around really kind of fueled me. You know, I had Roy Jones Jr. in my corner saying I could do it, right? And then Hulk Hogan pushes me way outside my comfort zone.
You need to set this goal. I know where it's at now. 20 pounds, lean muscle. But if you don't get there, you need to attach a pain factor to it.
If I didn't do it, he was gonna shave my head. Him and Brutus the Barber Beefcake giving me a Hulk Hogan haircut.
Oh, you're gonna go to sleep. You're gonna get a bald over Ronaldo, a Hulk Hogan haircut, brother. Right down the middle, like the land of strippers.
Oh yeah.
And if he doesn't make his goal, we'll put loser on the top of his head. That's the deal. 20 pounds lean muscle.
20 pounds or Brutus gives me a haircut.
Or a bald over Ronaldo, Hulk Hogan haircut.
Woo! It's just important to always stay true to what your goal is. Never lose faith on what you know is possible and what you want to achieve. And you know, it's important, if you set a goal, go public with it. Tell the world about it. It's amazing what happens when you put yourself out there on a challenge and elicit everybody's support and feedback and energy, and that feeds you every single day. You know, and document your progress. You know, there's nothing more motivating than feedback on results, right? And every step of the way, if you're, you know, for me it was taking pictures or stepping on the scale, have something measurable, attainable. You know, don't go for the entire story all at once. Make strides step by step by step. So on day one, weighed in at 134 pounds, and you know, through all 90 days later, stepped on the scale and
Not busted. 148 or so is where we left off, and it's not moving, which means 150, which means for the first time in this 90 days, we get to go to the big plate. Let's shift this up. I'm shaking here, guys. Stop shaking. 150, 51, 52, 4, 155. Looks like about
156.
156.
156.
22 pounds since the first day.
So 22 pounds up, which was awesome. I didn't want to celebrate too much because I knew I had to hit the measurements and the body fat and all of that. So did all the measurements and then, you know, put them all on the computer. I was nervous. Like I was literally shaking. Moment of truth. 90 days of hard work. What was I going to read back?
Lean body mass of 133.45. 23 pounds of muscle.
23 pounds? That's over 20. Is that over 20? It's over 20.
My lean muscle went from 110 to 133. I passed my 20-pound goal. I put on 23 pounds of lean muscle in 90 days. I put on, you know, more than 5 inches on my chest, 1.5 inches on my quads, you know, over 1 inch on my biceps. You know, I'm pushing weight that I never thought I would ever push before in 90 days. You know, twice a week and following a strict food regimen. So we're sitting there in the gym in my official after photo shoot, and you know, I asked Lindsay Messina, who happened to be in town. She's not only a fitness celebrity, but a Body By V challenge promoter. So, you know, let's face it, I had no idea what I was doing in terms of all these after poses. So I asked her to come in and kind of coach me through it a little bit. And here we are, you know, we're doing photos, you know, doing all these action shots, and she interrupts out of nowhere.
So I placed a few calls out to a lot of my connections with the different magazines. I told them about your story and your 90-day challenge that you were doing. And so anyhow, Natural Muscle Magazine, they loved your story. I sent them your before and after pictures, and they wanted to do a whole spread on you and your complete transformation.
Wait, what?
The whole spread.
Who does?
Natural Muscle Magazine.
You got me in a magazine?
I got your magazine.
Oh my god. That's gonna be crazy. In a nationwide fitness magazine, Natural Muscle. Now I'm sitting here going, wow, my challenge, right? 90 days ago, I was 134 pounds, right? And 90 days later, achieved my goal, have, you know, these awesome, cool, you know, fun self-fulfilling results, but beyond that, I'm gonna be featured in newsstands all across North America. So, I mean, just crazy what can happen when you step out on faith a little bit, set the goal, refuse to stop. There's always gonna be haters out there. There's always gonna be people that say you can't. There's always gonna be people to point out what isn't possible. Everybody needs a hater or two. If you're gonna go out there and give that told you so moment to, right? When you go out there and succeed. And to the person that told me that gaining 20 pounds of lean muscle in 90 days is physically impossible, the only thing that I can say to that is, I defy physics. You know, everybody keeps asking me, well, what next, right? What are we doing? You know, what now? Are you going to keep it on? Are you going to keep it in the gym? And you know, the answer, I haven't really thought past my goal now, but now that we finished my 90-day goal, I have to set a new goal. And let's just say I got some crazy ideas out there, and I'm going to need every bit of muscle I put on, I think, to even have a shot at what I'm thinking about for this next 90-day challenge. So stay tuned.